What's going on, guys? Matt in a hat. Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned into the hot list on this Red Friday. I hope y'all are having an awesome Friday. Hope you guys had a great week, wrapping up an incredible week. I know I am, and as you guys know, we join each other Monday through Friday around 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. And we talk about the hot list. What is the hot list? The hot list is a property that is new to the market, something that is very unique about the property. And I answer a question of the day submitted by you, the viewers. So, as we get into it, as you guys know, I do ask one thing of you, why you guys are in here and why you guys are watching. And that is because the hot list is now available for download in iTunes. If you would go to the link in the description, help a brother out and like it, subscribe to it, download it, and leave me a 5-star review if you haven't. 5-star is preferred. If you guys think that this is 1-star, 2-star, absolutely hate it, let me know that as well. Always willing to listen and adjust as I can. So the property we're talking about today, the address is 2006 Prairie Street, right here in Emporia. This house just had a good size addition added onto it in 2004. It is a 5-bed, 3.5 bath, plus 3-car garage. How cool is this house? It's got 4,260 square feet of finished space, currently listed at $299,900, courtesy of Coldwell Banker Emporia Real Estate. And this house is very unique because it sits on almost a full acre in town. Plus, it is just very close proximity to Jones Park, which is one of the larger parks here in town that has 3 disc golf courses on it, 3 ponds. Yeah, 3 ponds. And then it's got some playground equipment on it for the kids as well. So very close proximity to that. The cabinets in the kitchen, absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. The countertops are just as amazing as the cabinets are. It has a covered front porch as well as a covered deck. It does have a fenced-in yard that's just ginormous. And with the 3-car garage that I talked about, it has 1 attached and then 2 detached 2-car garage. So definitely worth checking out. And just click on the link and it'll take you right to it. Now, question of the day. You guys know that we spend some time together and I answer a question that's submitted by one of you guys, the viewers. Question of the day today: why does my yard always look so tired or worn, and why does it always turn so brown? So today we're going to talk about the 5 best practices for mowing your lawn. And I tell Chase this all the time now that he's old enough and he's been mowing for probably the last 2 seasons. Love it or hate it, it's something that has to be done. And I remind him there's a difference in doing it just to get it done versus doing it well. I mean, you ever look across the street or, right next door at your neighbor's house and notice that their yard is plush and green and healthy and your yard is not? So today we're going to talk about why that could be and give you some tips and some recommendations. So one of the problems that starts out, we all have it. I've had it for years, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, is you never put much thought into lawn care. Why? Because like my wife says, grass is grass, right? Well, we're going to talk about that a little later. The solution and the best way to overcome this is by changing the way that you think can have a huge impact on your yard and how it looks in the spring, continues to look in the summer and into the fall. So number one is going to be prep your mower. Now this is something that too many people just absolutely overlook. They see a mower like their vehicle. They just put gas in it and go. And to really get this done right, to keep it going, beginning of season, mid-season, through into season, you got to do more than just gas and go. So what I do, and I would recommend you guys do as well, is every season I begin with doing a little bit of maintenance on my mower. So number one, what does that look like? Number one, I change the oil in it every season. After every 3 mowings, I check the oil in it as well. Just make sure that none's run out, still got plenty in there, and it looks okay. Number two is I check the air filter and change it if I needed to. Typically, I can get away with 2 years on my air filter, just depending on that season. But if you have to replace the air filter, I think they're less than $20 for most pushing mowers, like what walk behind mowers like what I have. Number three is I check my blade. I check it for any damage, any cracks in it that need to be replaced, rust, and dullness. So if it needs to be sharpened, I will sharpen that too. I also check the spark plug. Me personally, I replace my spark plug every other year, but I definitely check it, clean it off, and make sure that it's got the recommended gap in it for firing it back up. And I also start off with fresh gas, not gas that's been sitting in my gas can all winter time, but I go to gas station and I top off on fresh fuel, because what you're going to notice is that fresh fuel makes a difference. You're also going to notice as the season rolls on that you're going to have to check your grass to see whether or not that the blade is staying sharp or starting to dull a little bit. And we'll get into that here shortly. But even doing just a little bit of maintenance like what we talked about is going to go a long way. So number two is learning about your lawn. Like I mentioned with my wife saying earlier, grass is grass, right? Well, I'm married. I enjoy being married, and I, enjoy living as well. So I'm not going to tell her that she's wrong. Not to her face, anyways. I'm just kidding. But many of us have this mindset because we just think, grass is grass. Well, because there are many different species of grass, each one is a little different and is going to have different needs. So taking the time to educate yourself about what kind of grass you have is really going to make a huge difference. What I've heard some people do, we actually have an ag extension office here in town. I've heard people that will take samples of their yard, like some soil and grass blades, down to the extension office, and they will actually help you identify, whether it's fescue, whether it's bluegrass, whether it's, those are the only two grasses I know, but they will help you identify, because once you identify it, you're going to know what type of season it has, because grass is living, so it does have seasons. You're going to learn how much water it requires to continually grow and what type of fertilizer needs that you're going to have as well. Now here's the trick. Once you identify it, this is also going to tell you the recommended cutting height and style of this grass. Weird, right? Which takes us right into number three, which is cut your grass to the right height. Because you want your grass to flourish, you want it to be green, and in order to do that, the grass needs enough blade height to absorb sunlight and pick up some of that early morning dew. So if you cut too short, I'm sure a lot of us know and have seen in the past that it's going to wilt your grass and it's going to turn brown pretty quick, especially once here in Kansas, July, August, things really start to heat up. The general rule of thumb if you don't really know what type of grass that you have right now, is to allow a 3-inch cutting height. So your grass should be 3 inches tall after you cut it. If you're unsure what type of grass you have, I would recommend 3 inches to 3.5 inch cut height after blade height after you cut it. Now comes the age-old question, number 4. Bag or mulch? Well, typically it is recommended that you leave the grass clippings in your yard. So what does that mean? That means you either mulch it or shoot it out the side with the side discharge instead of bag it. Because doing this, by allowing that grass to remain in your yard, or those clippings to remain in your yard, the new grass is going to pull some nutrients from it, and it's going to, as it decomposes, and it's going to break down back into the soil and help out your grass. During the rainy season, kind of like we have been lately around here, your grass is going to grow. It's going to grow tall. So you don't like those grass clippings shooting it out the side. Make multiple passes, or after you do it once and side discharge it, put on a mulching blade. If it's not already on there, take your side shoot off and make some passes and using the mulching. Because what happens is you get big old chunks like this that lay in your yard. That's going to suffocate and kill the grass that's underneath it, not allowing it to breathe. So should you even bag it all? Here's what I do, and actually here is what is typically recommended. Now these are all just general statements varying by grass, of course. So the first mowing and last mowing of the season, it is recommended to bag your yard. Why? Because you're going to pull a lot of decomposed and just a lot of junk in the soil that you don't want there. You're going to pull that up, especially during the wintertime or the fall time before leaves really start falling. Finally, number 5 is adapting throughout the year. Like we talked about, grass is living and it has different growing seasons and will change throughout the season. So in the springtime, little cooler, not as hot, depending on where you live, it may not rain a whole lot, so you won't have to mow as often, because if you mow it more, the more you mow, the more you can potentially shock your grass and kill it. And as summer comes around, to help make your grass drought resistant, adjust your cutting height. So raise your cutting height, because you want to give those blades more length in order to collect not only that sunlight, but that morning dew that we talked about as well. The other thing, as far as cutting direction. Now, especially after a bunch of rain like we've had here, you want to change the direction that you typically mow. Why? Because mowing the same direction, the same way every time can put stress, and especially when you turn your push mower to pivot it around, if it's been rainy, it's been muddy, you're going to tear up that yard. So, for example, my house faces south. So Chase will typically mow east to west, right? So today he's going to mow, and today I'm going to have him either mow north-south or at a 45-degree angle, just to change it up because of the amount of moisture that's still in the ground and don't want to kill it. So that's it. You got the top 5 best practices for creating a healthier lawn and for better mowing. Hopefully this will help keep your grass a little bit greener and help keep you busy as well. Now, obviously, if you want to do this on your own, more than welcome to. Not all of us are able or even willing to do this on our own, because it can be a big job. So if you're not able to do it on your own, maybe you just don't want to do it, I do have a 5-star vendor list, and I do have a number of landscape and mowing companies that I'm happy to share with you. All you got to do is just reach out, let me know. So thanks for watching today's Hot List with Matt in a Hat. Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have an awesome rest of your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you Monday.